Hey there guys, and welcome back to Mana Down Under. Today we are covering Vaevictis Asmadi the Dire. So for the video, would you call him Asmadi? So Asmadi, 6 mana Jund Dragon from Core Set 2019. This is just a deck idea, guys. So it's just cards that I suggest or you might need to keep the deck working. The actual filler of the deck and the lands and all that, that's up to you. We all know how to build commander decks now. So Asmadi, interesting ability. Whenever Asmadi the Dire attacks, for each player, choose target permanent that player controls. Those players sacrifice those permanents. Each player who sacrificed the permanent this way reveals the top card of the library. If it's a permanent, put onto the battlefield. So the deck is built around that mechanic. It's nearly like a cheating effect, but for every player. So when we've built the deck, or designed the deck manipulation is a big part. We want to know what's on the top, or if we can, we want to alter what's on the top of the decks for everyone, including ourselves. We also care about attacking because its ability triggers on attack. And the key word, sacrifice. We can manipulate that too. So let's get into it. Manipulation. Sensei's Divining Top is a big part of the deck. Simply paying 1 mana to rearrange top 3 is huge. Scroll Rack is massive because you can choose any number of cards from your hand, set them aside, then you draw that many, and then you put the cards set aside on top of your library in any order. So you can pretty much go, I have something in my hand I want to cheat in, I can do it. Miri's Guile is similar to the Sensei's Divining Top, but just triggers on every upkeep. Sylvan Library, we've all seen it commanded before. You can look at the top 2, put them back in any order. If you want to pay for life, you can draw each additional card. It's wonderful, but it's letting us rearrange the top of the deck for our Asmadi triggers, because we want permanents to be on the top of that deck every time we do it. Corso of Crufix is an interesting card. We do have to play the top card of our deck revealed, but we can see what's coming. Plus we can play if it's a land, and we do gain life. Oracle of Moldai, same effect, but we can play an additional land, so it helps out. The Vizier, similar effect, but we can only see the top of our deck. We can look at any time we want. And we can play if it's a creature card. So if we can see we've got a good creature set up, we can attack with Asmadi and get it into play for free. Lantern of Insight is here, so we can see everyone's library. And if we have to, we can sacrifice it, but probably never would. But it's good, we can see if we attack, what are we going to give everyone. Now, because we do care about attacking, we want multiple combats. So, like majority of the deck, you want your combat to come from permanent sources if you can. But I've got 2 here of each side. World at War and Seize the Day are good here because they've got 2 instances, they're not just a one-off free combat. Aggravated Assault is here because you can keep paying the mana, you keep having combat. And Hellkite Charge is the same thing. So it's up to you. There's a lot of extra turn combat spells out there, but it'll be up to you how you want to go. Now this section is called On Top. So these are cards that can put cards directly on top of our library or our opponents. Noxious Revival is probably the best card in the deck for it. Paying 2 life to put any card from any graveyard on top of its own library. So if our opponent's about to get something really good, we can give something bad to them. If we want something from our graveyard back onto the battlefield, we can give it to ourselves. Reclaim is the same for us, but only for us. Painful Memories and Agonizing Memories are similar. You look at your opponent's hand, you can choose a card, and then put it on top of the library. Agonizing Memories just does 2. But in this way, we can stop our opponent getting good triggers. We can give them something bad, like either non-permanents or basic lands. And with Asmadi, when you attack, you're sacrificing your own permanents too to cheat new permanents to play. So your lands are a good option to sacrifice, and a lot of people will, because they'll say you don't need lands to win the game. Not necessarily true, but oh well. So Crucible of Worlds is a big card here. Simply sacrificing a land and then replaying it is a great feeling. The Gigrog monster plays quite well with it too. The Excavator is just a backup Crucible of Worlds, and Life from the Loam is a good way just to keep playing with our graveyard. Now, our commander is 6 mana. He is an expensive dragon and it's painful to cast him. So Lightning Greaves and our booties are great because they protect him, stop him getting murdered so we don't have to keep paying that cost, and they give him haste. Having a bit of haste in this deck does not hurt. Darksteel Plate, simply indestructible, can't hurt. Aspect of the Mongoose gives him Shroud, in a sense, and if the aspect of the Mongoose goes away, we get it back to our hand. Now, like I was saying, that keyword sacrifice. So we're choosing what permanent they sacrifice. This is good. Often sacrifices effects let them choose what they lose, but we're picking. So Gravepact and Dictator of Erebos are huge options here, because if we choose a creature, they sacrifice it, then they have to sacrifice another creature. And Asmadi thrives in 4-player games. So you can run all the packs you want. There's the Butcher Malik here, but I prefer the enchantments because they don't get removed as easy. And Mazarek, the Cruel Death Priest. Whenever a player sacrifices another permanent, put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. If you're in your 4-player game with Asmadi and you attack, including yourself, you're sacrificing permanent, you just put 4 1/1 counters on all your creatures. And then with that, my favorite Eldrazi, the Betrays. Best artwork in the game by far. So if they sacrifice a non-token permanent, we get it on our side of the battlefield. So with that, plus Asmadi, it's kind of like a steal spell. We can go, I want this, I want this, I want this. Attack, now they're mine. It's a very greedy playstyle. And your tutors in the deck. You want any tutor that puts it on top of your deck, so that way you can play it for free. So Worldly Tutor and Sylvan Tutor pretty much read 1 green mana to put any creature from your library onto the battlefield with Asmadi. Because you put it straight on top, then you attack, Asmadi cheats into play for free. Vampiric Tutor lets you have any card in your deck for free on the battlefield. Cruel Tutor the same, but at 3 mana. So you can see why Asmadi is actually kind of a sleeper commander, I think. Support. Now this is a section of the deck where it will just be things that support what the deck's already doing. A lot of people have pointed out Atali, the Primal Storm, is similar to Asmadi, and that's very true. Both of them care about attacking, and when they attack, they're manipulating the top of the deck and getting free things out of it. Atali's a bit more strong, but in the sense that each opponent reveals, or each player reveals, and we can cast everything revealed that's a non-land for free. That's amazing. So our extra combat steps, which we use for Asmadi, support Atali. Stolen Strategy is from Battleborn. Similar thing, but we still got to pay the mana, but we can pay if it was any color. And at worst, if you choose not to cast a spell, you just exile the top card of the library anyway, so it's not a total whiff. Helm of the Host will probably be in every commander video I do from now on, because it's just that good of a card. If you put it on Asmadi or Atali, like there's a lot of good targets in the deck, your combat triggers start to get a little bit silly. Stronic Resonator, again, choosing to copy Asmadi or Atali triggers in the deck is really powerful, plus there's a lot more later on to see. And with this, because we're sacrificing permanents and we're revealing and then putting straight into the battlefield, we want permanents that have enter the battlefield effects. So 5 Haven Elf, Wood Elf, and Solemn all get us a basic land. Plus Solemn can draw a card on death, but Eternal Witness can also fetch things back from the graveyard. So all of these have instant value once they enter the battlefield, and then we can use them for sacrifice fodder for the next combat. And then we have a lot of creatures that have a removal effect in some way. Acidic Slime can hit an artifact, enchantment, or a land. Rex Sage can hit artifacts and enchantments. Woodfall Primus does double duty, can hit any non-creature permanent, and has Persist. So in the next combat we can target Woodfall again with Asmadi, sacrifice him, Persist brings him back again and gets to remove another creature. So he's doing double duty there. Overseer the down on entry can remove any creature, and then we get a 2/2 token. And then every time another creature opponent dies, we get another zombie. So he can do the Lord's work on his own. And another card which not many people like in Commander because it's too expensive, but Grave Betrayal is pretty good in the deck. Whenever a creature you do not control dies, return to your battlefield at the next end step with additional 1/1 counter on it and it's a zombie. Like it that betrays, that's kind of like a steal spell. We can go, we want your creature, we want your creature, we want your creature, attack, they sacrifice them, in return we get them. Omnath and Titania are here because they kind of support the graveyard and land shenanigans we've got going on. The fact that Omnath, we can just play a land, we can 5/5, creates its own board presence. And Titania, same idea, gets its land back. Whenever we sack a land to Asmadi, we get a 5/3 elemental. Just really big board presence for not much effort. Inferno Titans here because we need to probably deal with weenies. The deck grows very tall, not very wide, so it doesn't hurt. Now we're not here to cast like Firehaven Elf or Wood Elves, we're here to cast some big fat boys, cheat them in. So Udvara Hellkite I feel like is a good option because whenever a dragon attacks you get another 6/6 dragon. Asmadi is an elder dragon, so you could cheat this in and every attack can producing more dragons. Lord Spine Worm is just so big, 15/15. If they do kill it, or if you choose to sacrifice to Asmadi, you can create 3 more blockers, which then you could further sacrifice to Asmadi. Now, the Eldrazi do big better than anyone else, but their abilities are often on cast, not entry. But Worldbreaker is one of the cheaper ones. He can hit artifact, enchantment, or land on entry, on cast, sorry. He has reach, big butt, and he can self-recur, so he's one of the must-haves. Ulamog is my personal favourite. because you can remove a permanent on entry, Annihilator 4. We care about the Annihilator a lot. Personally, in my Asmadi deck, I would run Yulamog and a couple other of the big Eldrazi. But you can cheat them in, but you're just getting a big body with Annihilator. You're not getting the entry effect, which you miss out on, but there's still good options to run in the deck. I've got Emrakul in the deck. Sure, she can only gain control of a player if I cast her, but she can reduce her own costs, so she's in the deck because she supports the multi-way mechanics Asmadi is stronger in. The Exarch's here because you can simply just search a library for a creature on top of your deck. Asmadi attacks, so you can cheat it into play. Similar with Liliana, her neg 2 ability here can search your library for any card on top of your library. Asmadi attacks, it's yours for free. A Garruk's here because I simply love him. I don't think he sees enough playing Commander. He is 7 mana for a 5 loyalty Planeswalker, but +1 to kill another Planeswalker, +1 to create a 3/3 Death Toucher, neg 3 just wreck another creature, neg 8 wins the game. Like, I think he needs to see a bit more play. Your lands kind of matter in this deck for once. Volrath Stronghold is really, really good if you've got the money. Simply paying 2 mana to put a creature from your graveyard on top of your library, just for Asmadi hit it again, is amazing. It avoids the casting cost of a lot of creatures, but it is about $50-60 if you've got the money. The Maya is the same as Volrath Stronghold, but just a one-off. Still pretty good. Your Scry lands do matter here, because it just helps you set up what Asmadi can trigger. And the same thing with your fetch lands. If you found you're not having any good luck there, crack a fetch land, shuffle your library, start a game. That's some legacy stuff there, but it does help. And like always guys, it's a Commander deck idea, not a hardcore deck list, so there's plenty of cards, plenty of variants still to build the deck. You can always see behind me here, here's a few cards that I would still recommend. I love Filth and Anger as like haste and unblockable mechanics. Sorry, your Praetors are great. Sheldred supports the deck really strong. Erebos for once is actually a good Praetor here, because haste is pretty absent in the deck, so he helps. You want all your typical rocks and signets that you have in your Commander decks, except for the Scry lands and the Return lands. Your land base can be how you want to be, it's your deck. Just make sure to include lots of big beefy creatures, whichever you prefer. I like my Eldrazi, some people prefer the Titans and Dragons, so build the deck how you want to build it. Put your own removal in. You're Jund, you have the best removal in the game. So, let me know guys, how would you build the deck? I feel the deck is kind of locked in, like everyone's going to have the same manipulation, the same like support and defense. The only thing that will change from play to play will be what big dumb permanents they want to cheat into play. I think that's the only place that's going to change it really bit. But let me know, how would you want to do it? Alright guys, have a good one. Thanks for watching guys. Please remember to like and sub, and have a good one.